Hello, everybody. Good morning. My name is Mr. Rader. Welcome to my virtual classroom. I am a social studies teacher in Brooklyn, and I am going to be working as your virtual content specialist. Today's video is part one of a two-part series on best practices for annotating historical documents. And in the first video, what I'm going to do is walk you all through the techniques that I use to help my own students when it comes to reading various historical texts. And then in the second video, I'm going to introduce everybody to the critical reading for argument tool. And this video is based on the participation in government lesson in Unit 2, Day 8 on the constitutional debates, specifically looking at the powers and responsibilities of the chief executive in the creation of the office of the presidency. So the question that your teacher will probably have you look at with these debates is whether or not we need a president. So this lesson has 3 documents. In this short video, we're going to be looking at the secondary source document titled Debate Regarding Powers of the Chief Executive by Ray Raphael. So the first thing that I would recommend that you do every time you encounter a document in your classes, whether it be history class or science class or ELA, if a context or an overview is provided, start by reading that first, because it can provide you with some valuable information about who the writer is, or about what the document is about, or the figures or events or people that are involved. So let's start by reading the context together. Ray Raphael is a professor and author who has written extensively about the American Revolution and early American government. When the representatives met at the Constitutional Convention in 1787 to address the issues resulting from the Articles of Confederation, there was extensive discussion regarding the power that should be given to the nation's chief executive, the president. Okay, so there's a couple of things that I want to take notes on. First is just the general information on who Ray Raphael is. So I'm going to highlight Ray Raphael as a professor, and I'm going to insert a comment and just make the note to myself. This tells us the background of the writer and their credentials. I'm going to click the comment button. I'm also going to make a comment here regarding the power that should be given to the nation's chief executive, the president. This may tell us about the purpose of the document and the issues that will be either debated or discussed. You can actually see that Google gave me a hint of suggestions. I'm just going to press the tab key and let Google fill it in for me with discussed. Okay, so then in the secondary source itself, a couple of things that I would like you all to take a look at is notice on the right-hand side, there's a glossary with terms that are in bold. It's not just for complex words that you might not understand. It's also useful in terms of content vocabulary that can help you to better understand the time period or the people that are involved. I would also just point out on the bottom of the page, the citation information. This tells us where the source is actually coming from, who published it, when was it published, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so let's take a look at the secondary source itself. I'm going to read through just the first paragraph and then show you a completed set of annotations to show you what a finished product might in fact look like. All right, so they had been meeting together in the East Chamber of the Pennsylvania State House for a week, and their time had not been wasted. The delegates were almost at full strength, 43 men from 11 states, and they were working their way down the list of proposals suggested by Edmund Randolph. James Madison, who would chronicle this and every other moment for more than 3 months, recorded in his copious notes what happened next. Okay, so I'm going to highlight this for 2 reasons. First, it tells us how the information was actually created. So this tells us how the information below, the quotes from the delegates, was recorded into history, right? Again, this tells us that a lot of this information is based on the notes, and then copious just means a large amount taken by James Madison. Okay, so that's again gives us more information about where the information is coming from. Okay, so in this next tab is the completed version. I'm going to make the video a little smaller so that you can see all of my comments in the right-hand side of the margin that I took in the evening. And you'll notice that I made slightly different comments, but I did make comments that spoke to various things that were important in the document. And I want to emphasize this, and I assume that your teachers have probably told you this before as well. You don't want to annotate everything. So in the past, when you had the opportunity to work with pen and paper, you might have felt the urge to underline a lot of things or to circle or to box important details. That could still be very useful in this context. But in this context, you really want to be able to use the comment function, which again, you could highlight any text that you want and insert a comment, or to highlight things that stand out to you. So if we scroll down to the second page, we can see some things specifically that I highlighted because I thought they were important for me to be able to understand what the document was about and some of the arguments that are being put forth by the writer of this document. Okay, so that will do it for today's video. Stay tuned for part 2, and I hope everybody has a great day. Take care.